There was a time when work felt like evidence, not just of competence, not just of responsibility, but of worth. What I did mattered because it said something about me. How well I did it mattered because it reflected who I was. Even effort itself felt like a kind of currency. This episode is about what it's like when that connection loosens, when work continues, but it no longer needs to prove anything. For much of life, work is inseparable from identity. We work to be seen as capable, dependable, valuable. Even when we enjoy what we do, there's often a subtle layer of self-measurement underneath. Am I doing enough? Am I doing it well enough? Does this count? Work becomes a way of stabilizing the sense of self. But there may come a point when that stabilizing isn't required anymore. You still work. You still show up. You still carry responsibility. But the inner demand to prove yourself through it softens. At first, this can feel unsettling. Without proving as a driver, work can feel strangely quiet. You may wonder whether you've lost ambition, whether you care less, whether something essential has dropped away. But nothing essential has gone missing. What's gone missing is comparison. Working without proving anything doesn't mean work stops. It means effort is no longer loaded with self-evaluation. You do what's needed because it's needed. You apply skill because it's appropriate. And when the task is done, there's no internal accounting. You don't review yourself afterward. You don't replay what it says about you. You move on. This can feel deeply relieving. You're no longer using work to reassure yourself. You're no longer seeking confirmation through output. You're not watching yourself work to see whether you're enough. Work becomes situational instead of personal. This doesn't mean standards disappear. Care still applies. Precision still matters. Attention still shapes what you do. But standards aren't used to define you. If something goes well, it goes well. If something doesn't, it doesn't. Nothing collapses. You may notice this shift most clearly in how you relate to effort. Effort no longer feels heroic. It doesn't feel like sacrifice. It feels appropriate. You give what the moment asks for, and no more. You don't overextend to feel valuable. You don't hold back to protect yourself. You respond. This episode isn't about disengaging from responsibility. Responsibility still exists. What changes is the emotional weight attached to it. You're not carrying responsibility as identity. You're carrying it because it's here. This can change how you experience fatigue. When work isn't used to prove worth, exhaustion decreases. You're not draining yourself trying to be enough. You rest when rest is needed. You work when work is needed. Neither needs justification. This can feel like a return to something simpler. Work becomes another movement in life, not a verdict. You may also notice that praise feels different. Praise no longer needs to be absorbed. It doesn't inflate or stabilize you. You hear it. You acknowledge it. It passes. Criticism changes too. Without proving at stake, feedback is just information. You use what's helpful. You leave the rest. There's no inner defense. This episode isn't about becoming indifferent to work. It's about becoming free inside work. You're not working to earn your place. You're not working to justify your existence. You're working because something needs doing. This can feel especially grounding in environments where performance has always been tied to value. When that tie dissolves, work becomes cleaner. You're not competing. You're not performing. You're participating. This doesn't make you passive. It often makes you more reliable. You're steady instead of driven, consistent instead of urgent. You don't burn out as easily because you're not carrying extra weight. You're not proving. You may also notice that this changes how you view others' work. You're less inclined to judge effort or output. You see people responding in their own ways. You don't rank contribution. You don't compare paths. You let work be work. This season has been about life moving without identity returning. This episode places work firmly inside that movement. Working without proving anything doesn't make work meaningless. It makes it humane. You don't need your work to stand for you. You don't need it to say anything about who you are. You're already here. And what you do doesn't have to explain that. If you're listening to this and noticing that work feels quieter lately, less charged, less personal, you're not disengaging. You're working without proving anything. If these reflections feel like something you can return to, you're welcome to stay. Liking the video helps it reach others who feel weighed down by performance. And if you want to keep a steady space like this available, you can subscribe, not for productivity or validation, but for companionship. If someone you care about seems less driven by approval lately, steadier, quieter in their effort, you're welcome to share this with them. only if it feels right. Work doesn't need to prove you. It only needs to be done, and then it can rest.